Welcome back to part 2 of my draft predictions. This is the second round on sports television. Um, right now, as you can see, this is my draft that I drafted before. Pretty standard draft. I had a few surprises, but generally it's pretty consistent. So first on the clock, Bengals. They really need an edge. They need a IOL, and I'm gonna go to the player rankings here. Let's see. I think that they're going to get Neville Gallimore out of Oklahoma. Okay. Indianapolis, they need a wide receiver. Big time. I think they're going to pick Jalen Reagor out of TCU. Okay. They need IDL. I think they're going to go with Rose Blacklock, who was walk-on. He's a good player. I think out of TCU, I think the Lions could pick him. Okay. They need offense tackle, an edge for the Giants. Safety, a wide receiver. I think with a wide receiver, I think they're going to go Laviska out of Colorado. Okay, Chargers need an offensive tackle, need a cornerback. I think that they're going to go with Lucas out of TCU, another TCU grad. Okay, Panthers, they need a cornerback or a linebacker. I think that or a wide receiver. I think they're going to go with Antoine Winfield Jr. out of Minnesota. Okay, next up, Dolphins. They need IOL, edge, running back. I think they're going to go with Cesar Ruiz. Pretty decent pick out of Michigan. Borderline first rounder. I think he's going to go to the Dolphins. Next up, Houston desperately needs an edge, an IDL, an IOL. I think they're going to go with a wide receiver. They're going to go with Denzel Mims out of Baylor. Okay, Browns up. They need a safety bad, linebacker, cornerback, running back. I think that they're going to go with Noah out of Auburn. Good player. Four-star recruit. I think that they're going to draft him. Next up, Jaguars. They need an IDL cornerback. I think they're going to go with Marlon Davidson out of Auburn. Next up, you got the Bears, IOL, cornerback, safety, offensive tackles, who they need. I think they're going to go with Arizona Cleveland, the best offensive tackle still on the board from Boise State. Next up, Indianapolis. They desperately need a QB or IOL or tight end, but I think or wide receiver. They don't need wide receiver. I think they're going to go with. Let's see. I think they're going to go with Justin out of Texas A&M. Next up, Tampa desperately need a running back or a wide receiver. I think they're going to go with KJ Hamler from Penn State. Next up, we got Broncos just lost out on a good wide receiver that they desperately need. So they're going to be looking about who to get. I think that they're going to go with T. Higgins out of Clemson for the 46th pick overall. Next up, Falcons. They need a cornerback, an edge. I think they're going to go with Terrell Lewis out of Alabama. Next up, Jets. They need an edge, a wide receiver, cornerback. They do not need a tackle, do not need a safety. I think they're going to go with Trayvon Diggs out of Alabama. Very decent pick. Next up, Steelers. They need a quarterback, IDL, IOL, offense tackle. I think they're going to go with Austin Jackson out of USC. Next up, Bears need an IOL, cornerback, or a safety. I think they're going to go with AJ Terrell out of Clemson. Next up, we got the Cowboys. They need a cornerback, safety. I think they're going with Jeremy Chin out of Southern Illinois. Next up, you got the Rams. They need a linebacker, an edge, or a cornerback. I think they're going to go with Clyde Edwards-Helaire to fill the running back void because Todd Gurley left out of LSU. Very good pick for them. Next up, the Eagles need a linebacker, need a cornerback, need a safety. I don't think they're going to be drafting another wide receiver, so I think they're going to go with safety Kyler Duggar out of Lenoir-Rhyne University. Next up, we got the Bills. They need a wide receiver. I think they're going to go with Donovan Peoples-Jones. Very good player out of Michigan. Next up, Ravens just got their linebacker. They need an IOL wide receiver, or an edge. I think they're going to go with an IDL. I think they're going to go with Raekwon Davis out of Alabama. Another good pick for them. Next up, Dolphins, getting a lot of things crossed off their board. They need an edge. They need a running back. They need a cornerback or linebacker. So I think they're going to... They could do Curtis Weaver. That's high for them. I think that they're going to go with Jalen Johnson out of Utah. Okay, next up, we got the Texans desperately need an edge still. I think they're going to do IDL, Davon Hamilton out of Ohio State. Next up, Vikings. They need a wide receiver, IOL, IDL. I think they're going to go with Lloyd Cushenberry III out of LSU. Next up, Seahawks also need an IOL, so I think they're going to go with Jonah Jackson, back-to-back IOLs drafted. Ravens up again. They need an IOL, wide receiver, an edge or running back, or a safety. They could get Ashton Davis. I think, though, they're going to go with... jump on Curtis Weaver out of Boise State. Okay, first pick, we got the Titans. They need an IDL, offensive tackle, quarterback, tight end. They have Cole Kmet, top tight end in the draft, still on the board. I think they're going to wait on him. I think they're going to do a running back. I think they're going to select Cam Akers. Next up, Green Bay. They need a wide receiver, tight end, IDL, cornerback, or a wide receiver IOL. I think that they're going to go with Matt Hennessy out of Temple. Chiefs, they need a cornerback, IOL, linebacker, edge, IDL, safety, OT, or wide receiver. I think they're going to see Ashton Davis falling. I think they're going to swoop him up, get him out of California for a solid draft pick. Finally, Seahawks, they need offense tackle, wide receiver, IDL. I think they're going to go for one of the top wide receivers. I think it's going to be a coin flip in between them. I think that they're going to go with Brandon, though, out of Arizona State. Okay, so here's my second round picks. First, we got Neville Gallimore going to the Bengals, Jalen Rigor going to the Colts, Ross Blacklock going to the Lions, Laviska, wide receiver out of Colorado, going to the Giants. Got Lucas, TCU grad, going to the Chargers, Antoine Winfield Jr., sophomore, safety, going to Minnesota. From Minnesota going to the Panthers. I think Cesar Ruiz, borderline first-round pick, good player. He's going to be going as an IOL from Michigan to the Dolphins. Let's get the notables here. Ayers of Cleveland, another good offense tackle going to the Bears. You got some strings of wide receivers here. KJ Hamler, good wide receiver. Out of Penn State going to the Bucks. T. Higgins, another good player in Clemson's system, going to the Broncos. You got Clyde Edwards-Helaire, LSU superstar running back, going to the Rams, 52nd overall to replace Todd Gurley. You got 54. You got Donovan Peoples-Jones, wide receiver, really good guy out of Michigan. And you got IDL Raekwon Davis out of Alabama, good system. I wonder if he can perform well for the Ravens. We got Curtis Weaver, another edge for the Ravens out of Boise State, good player. Cam Akers, really good running back out of Florida State for Ryan Tannehill to use along with King Henry. And finally, we got Brandon, wide receiver out of Arizona, capping it off for the Seahawks. So thanks for watching, guys. This is my second round predictions. If you want me to do a third round, comment below that you want me to do it. Comment below if you disagree with any of these picks. Certainly possible. And who you think I should have drafted for your team, and who you want your team to draft out of these prospects that I put. So thanks, guys, for watching. You're watching Sports Television Network. Thank you guys for watching.